In this video, I'm going to show you about the Atmos Raw Vaporizer, including everything I like and don't like about it. Generally, I think this is a pretty cool device, and I actually really like it, but unfortunately it has one major flaw, and that is that it's not really a vaporizer. And I'm going to show you exactly what I mean and explain why. Alright, so first let me explain what's cool about this thing and why you might like it. I think that it looks pretty cool, it's pretty sleek, it's not very heavy, it feels good to hold, and it's not tiny, but it's definitely not that large. And this is what it looks like compared to the Magic Flight launch box. Alright, the next thing that I like is that it's super easy to use. Once you get it packed and ready to go, all you got to do is hold down the power button right on the front here, and when you hold the power button down, the blue light goes on in the tip. And the way that you're supposed to use this thing is you first hold down the button, and the manual recommends to hold it down for about 2 seconds, and I found that that works pretty well also. So you hold it down for about 2 or 3 seconds, start taking your draw while you still hold the button down, and then after about 5 seconds you can let the button go. So not only is it simple and easy to use, but it's also very quick, meaning that it heats up and cools down in, a couple of seconds. Alright, so those are the things that are cool about it. So it's definitely a cool little device if you're looking for something to carry with you around and whatever, just stick in your pocket. Alright, and one more thing I want to mention about it is that the battery life is pretty good because you can get quite a few draws off of full charge. Now, the major thing that's wrong with this device, like I mentioned in the beginning, is that it's not really a true vaporizer because it combusts the herbs. And the reason it combusts the herbs is because you're actually supposed to pack them directly on top of the metal heating element, or the coils at the bottom of the chamber. And if you're not familiar with vaporizing, the whole idea is to heat your herbs with the hot air only, and to avoid any direct contact with the heating elements, so that there is no combustion and it doesn't burn the herbs. But with the way that this thing comes out of the box, there's really no way to avoid your stuff getting burnt. And I'm going to take it apart to show you why. So this thing can come apart into a few pieces. The big piece in the front here, this is the battery. This is the part that you put into the charger to plug into the wall to charge up. It says to charge it for 6 hours when you first get it, just to train the battery, and then 2 hours should give you a full charge after that. This next piece here, this is the ceramic heating chamber. Alright, and this is the main piece that you put your herbs in. So I'm going to unscrew it. Alright, and this is where things get interesting here. Because in this heating chamber here, you can't see it too well with the camera, but on the inside it's lined with ceramic, but then at the bottom of the chamber there's this metal coil down there, and that's the heating element that gets hot when you engage the battery. And to show you exactly what I'm talking about, I actually just screwed the battery back on real fast so that I can engage the heating element and show you how it starts glowing down there. So that's the heating element that you put your herbs right on top of. They don't include any part or anything to suspend the herbs away from the coil so that it doesn't touch it. And then in this next piece here, the chamber connector, it has this spring sticking out, and you are technically supposed to put this right into your herbs after you pack it, push it in, and then screw it closed. So it was a little weird. It threw me off at first because I really didn't expect to actually stick the spring right into the herbs. Kind of seemed a little weird. Apparently, if you read through the manual, it does say that you can take this spring out, use it without the spring, and I tried it, but I didn't really see any difference because the herbs still combusted, they still got burnt, because there's really no way to avoid them getting down there. Now, one of the ways that I think they could have made this better, and I don't know if someone there maybe comes across this video, maybe this is something you guys could make for us, but it seems like there needs to be an extra part here to help suspend the herbs, at least a few millimeters above the coils, so that there's not direct contact. Now, I couldn't find anything that I had that would exactly do this, but this thing seems pretty close. Alright, and this is a screen from an Extreme Q vaporizer, and it's definitely not the perfect size, and it actually doesn't fit in there. It's a little too large. But the idea of this, I think, would work in here. So maybe if there was a piece like this, a screen, that could slide into here and fit in, that would just, not go all the way down to the bottom. It would sit a few millimeters above the coils, and it would create a little bit of space for the hot air to transfer over and vape the herbs instead of burning them or combusting them. So I think something like this might work, but unfortunately there isn't a piece like this as of the time I'm making this video, so I can't really recommend this to you guys as a true vaporizer. Now don't get me wrong, I still think it's cool and I like it and I'm going to use it, but I know for some people they can't have their herbs combusting at all and they definitely need it to vaporize only. So this thing wouldn't be for you, at least for the time being. Alright, so there's actually one more piece, the chamber connector piece here. It actually pulls apart from the mouthpiece. Alright, the mouthpiece, I'll just tell you quick, is rubber. Alright, and it has a little ceramic insert here. Okay, and just be careful because inside the chamber connector here, there's a little tiny screen, and it's actually a pretty important piece because it's what prevents your herbs from going up and contacting the ceramic little mouthpiece thing. But this little screen in here can easily fall out. It's not held in by anything, so just make sure you don't lose it because it does only come with one. Alright, so these are all the parts to this thing, so I'm going to put it back together because there's a few more things I want to mention. Alright, so the chamber itself is not tiny, but it's really not that big either. So for me, packing it about 3/4 of the way full, I was able to consistently get between 3 and 6 decent draws per packing. Which, like I said, isn't bad, but it's really only enough for one person. But listen, I'm not going to totally knock this thing because it is kind of cool. And like I said, I do like it. It is very convenient, and I really like how fast it is. But obviously, if they could come out with some kind of fix at least, or something, to turn it into an actual vaporizer, that would make it even better. So if you think you might be interested in getting one of these, I put a link in the description to the store that I got mine from, which is definitely where I recommend you go if you want to buy vapes online, because it's a really safe store. They're an authorized dealer for all the vapes they sell, and the customer service is awesome. So if you're considering buying any vape stuff online, definitely check them out. So thanks for watching, stay up, and I'll see you soon.